How you doing, Jason?
Good.
I was calling to talk about swine flu a little bit. I was thinking that one of the odd things is how much fear-mongering there is about these vaccinations, and although I don't want to take them myself, I see that there's going to be a kind of divide, that the powers are going to be able to separate the people who are loyal to the government from the people who distrust the government. And then the people who are loyal to the government are going to want all of us in camp because we won't take the vaccination and are possibly a health risk.
Well, I think that there will be a push to try to divide us. Divide and conquer is one of their biggest assets, and fear is another huge tool. So if they can make the people that did take the shots fear those who didn't, they may get behind a campaign. You know, if they start using buzzwords like, well, you know, this pandemic could cause a quarantine, and we don't want to quarantine everybody, so we need you to tell us if your neighbor's taken the shot. You know, I don't know. I've obviously watched the video of the woman saying that they were training for H1N1 traffic stops, and if you didn't take the shot, you're going to be quarantined and whisked away right there on the spot. I don't know if that's the case. I do know that they have trained for similar situations in the United States in the past 20 years, and I know we're hand in hand with Canada. I know that Canada is where they want to launch the H1N1 shot on the bar strips to get the 18 to 30-year-olds they don't think are going to roll their sleeves up willingly. So is it going to come to us against them and actual quarantines and actual martial law? I don't know. I guess it's going to be based on how successful they are in getting the dumbed-down moronic public to take their medicine. And their medicine is poison, my friend. Go ahead.
Right, and the point I was making is that there's probably not going to be a 9/11 truther who would take the vaccination. So it's gonna single us out.
Well, I'm with you there. There are a couple 9/11 truthers that do drink the left Kool-Aid and think that Lord Obama is here to save us and will roll their sleeves up for a shot, but certainly not any of the Infowarriors out there that go beyond the 9/11 spectrum and are really taking a look at this false left-right paradigm. I appreciate the call, Rudy. Let's jump to Matt in California. Matt, you're online. Yes,
Hi, Jason. How you doing?
Good.
I'd like to talk about chemtrails for a second.
Okay, sure.
I live in the Bay Area on the peninsula, and they've been hitting us hard, real hard the past week or so. It's been kind of on and off the past couple months, but you know, I've never seen it so thick over here before. And you know, I mean, this is just one issue where you know, you hear about government corruption, and over here in California, it's all the way over in District of Criminals. And when you see just eugenics and corruption right in front of your face being sprayed into your air, it's really hard to have a normal life. I guess my question is, do you feel that the high levels of barium are tied into this swine flu?
You know, a lot of people have asked me that, whether the aluminum and the high levels of barium are there for us to inhale and basically eviscerate our internal systems, our immunity to this sort of thing, and make it so that we become sicker, quicker, and maybe can't hold up against something as silly as the swine flu. I don't know if that's the case. It's a great possibility that this is not just weather modification. And yes, they are trying to break down our immunity so that we'll go to their, you know, to our pharmacists and buy their drugs and support the big business that is the pharmaceutical industry. It may be that it's there to take down our immunity so that if they have a mass vaccination campaign, they'll have the population sustainability that they talk about. I stick to what I can prove. They are on record talking about shooting pollutants into the upper atmosphere to block the sun. We can see the videos of the planes that have done this. I can drive down the road and actually see the crosshatch patterns and the quote-unquote chemtrails or the persistent jet contrails, whatever you want to call them. They're not traditional contrails. And now we have this CARE program. I don't know if you were listening in the beginning of the show, but let me just read a little bit of this. Light seen in sky after cloud-making launch. Night shining clouds. Noctilucent clouds means night shining in Latin. Although difficult to spot with the naked eye, the clouds are best visible when Earth surfaces in darkness and sunlight from below the horizon illuminates the high-altitude clouds. And they are now shooting rockets with NASA in command, to do this openly talking about weather modification and blocking the sun to save us from global warming. And you know that is going to be the public position when they finally admit to the fact that they are spraying us with chemtrails. It's for our own good. It's here to save us, Matt.
Yeah, just one more thing. I'm just, to everybody listening, I think chemtrails is a good conversation starter. I mean, if they see death in their face and you tell them, have you seen a contrail? You know what that is. I did that to a couple people on Friday, and it blew their mind, Well,
yeah, no, I agree, man. I completely agree, and that is a great way to get into it. Let me give you another example. I was when I was on the shoot for Philadelphia, and I thank you for the call, Matt. When I was on the shoot for Philadelphia about a month and a half ago, it was outside, and there was just a huge line in the sky, and it was starting to expand, and I started talking about chemtrails to my friend Jay, and there was another young man there, and he said, well, you know that a plane just did that, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know that a plane just did that. I know that that's not a normal, because he didn't even understand that, yeah, a plane put that up, that's a bad thing. I'm like, don't you remember when we were kids, contrails just kind of followed the plane, and there was a little line in the sky, and it just kept following, and that was about it? And he's like, yeah, what those are artificial clouds that they do crosshatch patterns, and then it expands into the atmosphere. And he's like, oh, still didn't understand the significance of that. Still didn't understand the relevance, but at least I woke him up enough so that he thought to himself, oh, that is a little odd. And why are they doing that? And what is this program? Let me ask a question or two. We'll be back. It's the final segment of the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas. Remember, if you missed any of the program this evening, you can go pick up the podcast over at theinfowarrior.com or go check out the video at prisonplanet.tv.